In a stunning legal twist, Justin Baldoni's $400 million lawsuit against Blake Lively has just taken a massive hit, leaving the entire case hanging by a thread. After months of intense courtroom drama, the judge has officially dismissed Baldoni's defamation claims, a devastating blow to his case that no one saw coming. But is this truly the end for Justin? Or could this setback actually lead to a surprising comeback? With Blake Lively, Ryan Reynolds, and the New York Times now seemingly in the clear, the fate of this explosive lawsuit hangs in the balance, and the stakes are higher than ever. As this high-profile legal battle continues to unfold, the shocking ruling has left many questioning the integrity of the case. Will Justin Baldoni's team be able to recover, or has the judge's decision sealed his fate? This isn't just about defamation anymore. This is about reputations, career sabotage, and the kind of public fallout that can change lives. Stick with us as we dig deep into what's really going on behind the scenes, why this case is far from over, and how this court ruling could affect everyone involved. The legal showdown between Justin Baldoni, Blake Lively, Ryan Reynolds, and the New York Times kicked off with a bombshell, a $400 million lawsuit that promised to shake the Hollywood elite. Baldoni, a rising star in the industry, accused Blake and her team of deliberately sabotaging his career with a calculated smear campaign designed to ruin his reputation. It all began with a scathing New York Times article that, according to Baldoni, painted him as a villain. The piece, he claimed, was filled with damaging accusations that negatively impacted his professional relationships and cost him future opportunities. But Baldoni didn't stop there. He alleged that Blake, Ryan, and their publicist, Leslie Sloan, worked in unison to plant these damaging stories, ensuring that his reputation was tarnished beyond repair. This lawsuit quickly captured the public's attention, with high stakes that could change the lives and careers of everyone involved. A $400 million claim over career-ending defamation was no minor issue, and it sent shockwaves through Hollywood. The world watched as these celebrities, often seen as untouchable, were dragged into a courtroom battle that could expose secrets, tactics, and behind-the-scenes maneuvering. The case became more than just a legal battle. It was a spectacle that could alter the course of these stars' careers and their public images forever. The courtroom drama set the stage for an intense legal battle where reputations were on the line. But as the case progressed, it became clear that the path to justice wouldn't be as straightforward as it seemed. With both sides holding tightly to their claims, the world waited for the outcome that could either vindicate Baldoni's accusations or clear Blake and her team of any wrongdoing. With every twist and turn, this legal battle promised to be more than just about money. It was about the truth, the power of the media, and the lengths celebrities will go to protect their image. In a crushing blow to Justin Baldoni, Judge Lewis delivered a ruling that no one saw coming. The defamation claims he filed against Blake Lively and her team were officially dismissed, sending shockwaves through the legal community. The judge ruled that there was not enough concrete evidence to prove that Blake or her camp intentionally smeared Baldoni's reputation. While it was clear that the statements made could have been harmful, they didn't meet the rigorous legal requirements needed for a defamation case to stick. The court essentially determined that the accusations didn't have the malicious intent required to legally define them as defamation. For those who were hoping for a courtroom battle that would expose hidden agendas and dark secrets, this ruling was a devastating setback for Baldoni. Defamation cases are notoriously difficult to win, and this decision highlighted the high bar that plaintiffs must meet to prove such claims. The judge's decision has left many questioning the legal system's treatment of high-profile celebrity cases, and whether the stakes are ever truly as high as they seem. Justin's legal team fought hard to prove that Blake's actions had caused irreparable damage to his career, but the court found no clear intent to harm, which is the cornerstone of defamation law. However, all hope is not lost for Justin. While the defamation claims were dismissed, the judge left a door open for him to continue his battle. Baldoni's legal team has until June 23rd to amend their claims regarding breach of implied covenant and tortious interference with contracts. These remaining claims might not have the same explosive impact as defamation, but they still hold the potential to challenge Blake and her team. This ruling may have been a setback, but it hasn't completely shattered Justin's case. With the chance to adjust his claims and continue the fight, the next chapter in this legal saga is far from over, and the tension is only just beginning to build. The dismissal of Justin Baldoni's defamation claims is nothing short of a crushing blow for his case. Defamation suits are often the most explosive and dramatic, as they target the heart of a person's reputation, and when they fail, it can feel like the case is over. With the judge ruling against Baldoni's defamation claims, his lawsuit loses some of its weight, and the legal momentum has shifted dramatically. The public had been captivated by the potential of this high-profile celebrity battle, but now, without the defamation claims to stir the pot, the fight has become a lot less intense in the eyes of many. The stakes no longer feel as high, at least not in the same way, but the battle is far from over. However, this doesn't mean Justin Baldoni is entirely out of the fight. The remaining claims of breach of implied covenant and tortious interference with contracts still leave him with a chance to push forward, but these claims don't have the same kind of explosive power as defamation. Instead of proving that Blake's actions were an outright attack on his character, these claims suggest a more subtle form of sabotage, where Blake and her team allegedly undermined Justin's career and professional relationships. The road ahead for Baldoni is long and winding, and his legal team now faces the daunting task of proving that Blake acted in bad faith during their working relationship, potentially sabotaging his reputation while under contract. For Baldoni to prevail on these remaining claims, he'll need to gather strong evidence showing that Blake's actions went beyond simple professional disagreements. Proving bad faith in court is notoriously difficult, especially in high-profile cases involving celebrities, where public opinion and media narratives can cloud the truth. The judge has given Baldoni's team a small window to amend their claims, but it's unclear whether these adjustments will be enough to turn the tide in his favor. As the legal battle continues, Justin's chance at a win seems to hinge on proving that Blake didn't just speak poorly of him, but that she actively worked against him in ways that harmed his career and reputation. The road ahead will be tough, but with a flicker of hope left, Justin and his legal team have no choice but to keep pushing forward. In a stunning turn of events, Blake Lively and her legal team have emerged victorious, walking away with a decisive win that has set the stage for the rest of the case. The judge's ruling to dismiss Justin Baldoni's defamation claims was nothing short of a triumph for Blake, solidifying her defense and leaving her opponents scrambling to adjust. For Blake, this wasn't just a small victory, it was a complete vindication. Her legal team successfully argued that the statements she made about Justin were part of a civil rights complaint, which legally protected her under the law. The judge agreed, ruling that these statements were protected speech, and crucially, did not meet the stringent criteria required to constitute defamation. In the eyes of the court, Blake's actions were justified, and no harm to Baldoni's reputation could be definitively proven. The victory didn't stop there for Blake. Her win extended beyond just her own legal defense. The New York Times, which had been dragged into the lawsuit by Baldoni, also benefited from the judge's ruling. The court found that the Times reporting closely aligned with Blake's version of events, reinforcing the paper's First Amendment rights. While the judge acknowledged that the article might have been dramatized to some extent, he ruled that the Times didn't act with malice or intent to harm Baldoni's reputation. This decision was a massive blow to Justin's claims and reinforced the media's right to report on matters of public interest, even if those stories were uncomfortable for the people involved. With the defamation portion of the case officially dismissed, Blake's team is now fully focused on the next phase, and it's clear they have the upper hand at this point. While Blake's legal strategy has worked to perfection so far, the battle is far from over. With the defamation claims out of the picture, Blake is now shifting her focus to the remaining lawsuits Justin has filed against her and her team. The judge's ruling has given her the momentum, and now Blake's team is positioned to defend against any future legal challenges with renewed confidence. For Blake, this victory is not just about winning in court, it's about protecting her reputation, securing her future in Hollywood, and turning the tide in a battle that has captivated the public. However, with Justin's remaining claims still looming and potential new twists on the horizon, this legal drama is far from finished. The next phase could be even more explosive than the last. As the judge's ruling reverberates through the legal world, the public's reaction has been anything but uniform. On social media, the battle between Justin Baldoni and Blake Lively has sparked an intense divide, with fans from both sides passionately voicing their opinions. Some believe the judge may have been swayed by bias, accusing him of being an activist judge and favoring Blake in what should have been a more impartial legal decision. Others, however, have rallied around Blake, with a growing number of people declaring Team Blake and claiming that it's time for everyone to admit Justin may be the real villain in this saga. The shifting tides of public opinion reflect the emotional weight this case carries, and it's clear that the online debate isn't going away anytime soon. Despite Blake's victory in court, Justin's supporters are far from silent. There's a significant portion of the public who still feels that Justin was wronged, and they believe that the judge's decision doesn't tell the whole story. These fans argue that the legal ruling ignores key facts, and that Blake's actions, alongside the media's role, were damaging enough to warrant defamation claims. For them, the court's dismissal of the defamation portion feels like a miscarriage of justice, leaving them questioning whether the legal system is truly serving the truth or protecting the powerful. The emotional pull of this case has resonated deeply with both camps, and the fight is no longer just about what happened in the courtroom. It's about how the public perceives each side. This case has sparked a level of conversation that transcends the legal battle itself, highlighting the deep connection between celebrity culture, social media, and public opinion. Even with the legal outcome largely settled for now, the public's perception is far from being resolved. As the case continues to unfold, both Justin and Blake are left to contend not just with the legal ramifications, but with the emotional toll of having their personal lives dissected by millions. The fight for justice in the courtroom may be over for now, but the battle for public opinion is far from finished, and the stakes have never been higher. With every new twist in this saga, the conversation only intensifies. With Justin Baldoni's $400 million lawsuit significantly weakened by the dismissal of the defamation claims, the big question now is, what's next for both parties? Justin's legal team has until June 23rd to revise and potentially salvage the remaining claims, but the odds seem stacked against him. While the defamation claims are officially off the table, the battle is far from over. The remaining accusations of breach of implied covenant and tortious interference with contracts could still carry weight, but they lack the explosive potential of the defamation case. For Justin, this means digging deep to find new evidence or a compelling argument that can turn the tide in his favor. The clock is ticking and the pressure is mounting. On the other side of the courtroom, Blake Lively's legal team is now in full damage control mode, focusing on maintaining their hard-won victory. With the defamation claims dismissed, Blake is setting her sights on a new goal, seeking damages from Justin for filing what she and her team argue is a frivolous lawsuit. Punitive damages are now on the table, and Blake's team is preparing to go after Justin for the financial and emotional toll this case has caused. With the upper hand firmly in their grasp, Blake's camp is determined to keep their momentum going, but the litigation is far from over. The question remains whether they will settle the case or continue to press for further legal action. As both sides brace for what's next, one thing is clear: this legal war is far from finished. The courtroom drama has already been full of twists and turns, but the real test will be in the coming weeks when Justin's legal team must decide how to proceed. Will they find a way to rebuild their case, or will Blake's legal victory signal the end of Justin's fight? With both parties entrenched in this high-stakes legal battle, the next moves will be crucial in determining who ultimately comes out on top. Stay tuned, because the courtroom showdown is far from over, and the stakes have never been higher. As the courtroom drama continues to unfold, the big question remains: who will ultimately come out on top in this high-stakes legal battle? While Blake Lively's legal team can celebrate their victory for now, the fight is far from over. Justin Baldoni's legal team still has a narrow window to amend their claims and continue pushing forward in the lawsuit, but the road ahead is steep. Blake may have won this round, but the next steps could prove just as pivotal. Will Justin be able to recover from this setback, or will Blake continue to maintain the upper hand? The pressure is mounting, and every decision made from here on out could alter the trajectory of this case. This case is not just about money, it's about reputation, power, and the consequences of a public battle in the spotlight. The legal ramifications of this lawsuit will likely echo in the lives and careers of both Justin and Blake for years to come, and it's clear that neither side is backing down. Blake may be looking victorious at the moment, but Justin's team isn't giving up just yet. As new developments unfold, expect even more drama to surface. The next chapter of this legal saga could bring shocking twists and high-stakes decisions that will keep everyone on the edge of their seats. Stay tuned because the outcome of this case is far from decided, and the fight is about to get even more intense.